a story time. If you guys would please share the video, that would be amazing. I know I say that a lot, but now is the time for you guys to really share the video, whatever you can. Welcome everyone, my name is Selma. I'm 17 years old and I'm originally from Egypt. I know I look super young, and that's because I don't eat. Never in my life did me or anyone in my family imagine that we would be coming to the United States ever, basically. We were in a very small little village city with family, and we were happy, we were okay. We weren't anything big or anything, but we were making it by, you know what I mean? We had family, that's all really that mattered. Every year or every few years, we like to eventually sometime go on a vacation, whether it's to, usually we like to go to Alexandria because we live in a little city named Bayala. So that's a very small compared to like Cairo and all these big places in Egypt. Alexandria is like a couple hour drive, and my grandpa owns like an apartment there that we usually stay at whenever we're there. So usually we like alternate whether we like to go to the beach or to the swimming pool. And this year we all decided about the swimming pool. So it's actually like a hotel and a swimming pool and restaurant, everything like all in one. So we just actually went for the swimming pool, and we did eat there too. When we got there, we noticed that they have the same big, like regular huge swimming pool. It's an outdoor one, and then separate next to it is of course it's an underground pool, but you had to like walk down to it. Baby toddler pool. The water came up to like right above my knee, and I was like still little, maybe 2 feet of water was in there. And I just kept playing. My mom at the moment was 9 months pregnant with my now 12-year-old brother. His name is Bara. I also had an older brother, and he is now 21. Hang on. My mom was watching him because they had no lifeguards for the bigger pool, but they did for the little pool. I was in the little pool with my swimming ring. And there was a lifeguard there. I noticed there's like a valve. You guys know what like a valve in the pool, usually they're on the side of the pool, here in America anyways, but there was one at the bottom of the pool. I'm sorry, it's like all coming back, it's just so hard. I saw it at the bottom of the pool, and it was like uncovered. So I went to go ahead to tell the lifeguard like, hey, can you cover that? Because I got scared. And he told me, yeah, sweetie, sure, of course, just keep me quiet or whatever. So that was August, and my birthday's in November, so I was still 4. Another lady actually asked him to close it, and he told her, we can't because of the infection risk. The valve is sitting there uncovered at the bottom of the pool, and I'm telling you, like, it's like maybe maximum 2 feet of water. So I was just playing around. Like, I can't even stand up, because when I stood up, the water came up to like my knee. So anyways, we were playing, and then I was just sitting there, and I don't know because I was sitting down for a bit, I don't know if I slipped or someone pushed me. I'm pretty sure somebody like accidentally pushed me by an accident and stuff like that. But I ended up sitting on the valve in the pool, and that's basically when my whole life ended, per se. I was stuck, I could not move. I remember every single second, every single part, everything of it. The water, I remember being able to see, but not being able to breathe. So water came up to right where my nose is, because I remember like it literally was right above my nose. I could see what was going on, and then sometimes like the water would cover my eye a little bit. It took a while for anyone to even notice, like, what the fudge, I don't know. The little kid started screaming and just ran out. The lifeguard jumped in to try to pull me out, he couldn't. My mom saw obviously things going on, so she started to come over. She's like trying, but she's like pregnant, so she couldn't. A couple people couldn't either pull me out because of how strong it was. So finally, one strong person was able to pull me out, and once I got pulled out, dangling from me was reddish stuff, just red. and I had an orange red swimsuit type of thing. So my mom at first like thought it was literally my bathing suit until she got up close and like she's like, yeah, that's not, like, obviously something is wrong. So she like screamed. I remember all of this. She's like screaming, yelling for help, and someone's like, I'm a kid doctor, like I'm a children's doctor, and he looked at my mom in the eye and told her that those are her intestines. Literally, at that moment, literally everything has never ever been the same, and it will never be the same. She carried me. My dad went to get the car as fast as he could. We were on vacation, so we didn't really know anywhere. We got, literally no joke, pulled a random stranger out of the street, no joke, to show them where the nearest hospital was. The first one we went to was like, they're like, it's gonna be a couple hour wait, while my mom is literally holding my intestines in her hands. But we went to another hospital, and it was a private hospital. The first thing they had the guts of telling my parents was, ma'am, this hospital is expensive. Are you sure you guys are going to be able to afford it? My mom is like, get my daughter, save my daughter, you get your money. Like, figure something out. I remember them taking me in. I remember them cutting my swimsuit, and I was like, no, don't cut it. They're like, you be quiet, literally. Like, what are you, like, is this really the time? Because I like the swimsuit so much, but, you know, I literally could see my gut. Literally, my own guts. Lord. I blacked out for a little bit, but that didn't change anything because I could still remember everything. Put me under, they sedated me, and I woke up in the ICU, and they had to cut out all of my small intestines. We have small intestines, we have our small bowel intestines, our large bowel, which is our colon, and then a part that is called the duodenum. That is the three parts, and probably something else, I don't know, but that's what I know. My small intestines, the small bowel, was all chopped off. They connected my large intestines, so my colon, to my duodenum. So they connected that, and I was okay. They gave me 2 weeks to live. This was all in 2007. They gave me 2 weeks to live, otherwise I would not make it unless I get a small bowel transplant. At the time, you guys, the only places that did transplant was here in the US. And we had options of Houston or Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh had better reviews. It was just a better overall thing, and it was probably safer for us to go this route. So we did go ahead and come to Pittsburgh. I got an evaluation, so that is to see if you're a candidate or not for a transplant. I got an evaluation and everything. I was hospitalized for a while. They put in a central line, that way I can get my feeding, because without your small intestines, you're not absorbing. You don't absorb anything without your small intestines. And in Egypt, they put in like peripherals, but they put it in my neck right here. It was like a midline, but it barely, like, I guess I still have this scar. Every single week they had to go put a needle in my skin. I could still remember. It is freaking traumatizing. But they put in a central line, which is like a PICC line, but is more permanent. Mine is called a Baroviac. And it could come with a single, 1 lumen, 2 lumen. I don't know about if they do 3 lumens or not, but I have a 2 lumen. So they put that in. I'm on TPN for a while. Me, to even get the transplant, they said it is $350,000. We're not rich. We went on vacation maybe every few years, and like we didn't rent anywhere because that's like my grandpa's place. We just go to hang out and maybe pay the pool fees. That's literally it. It was sort of like, leave it to God sort of situation, because we didn't know what to do. We went on talk shows, we reached out to the government, really nothing worked. Until one night, this is back in Egypt by the way, I'm sorry, I moved a little forward. My parents were just sitting down, and we got a call from someone. I still remember that night. And the guy was like, wow, you must have been praying hard. And we're like, well, yeah, of course, we have nothing else to do. Like, we don't know what else to do. They're like, well, this person has just donated all the money for your surgery. It was like the king, something of Saudi Arabia, like he was like something huge. So he donated all the money needed for my transplant, and that is how we came here. Getting a visa was so hard to come because my mom had the baby. They would only give it to my dad at the time. My mom's like, I can't leave my daughter. I'm like, there's no way I'm just going with my dad. Like, no way. So she went back and she was able to get a visa for her, my dad, and the baby. But my older brother wasn't able to get one. So my older brother stayed back in Egypt. So we came, I got evaluated and I was placed on the transplant list. After being here for a while, probably a couple months, my dad started freaking out and is like, we gotta go back to Egypt. I'm like, what the hell? I was in no position. I was so freaking sick. I had so many infections. I was on millions of medications. I was nowhere to go back to Egypt, but apparently we did. So we went back to Egypt for 6 months until a problem happened with my central line, and they don't even have my central line in Egypt where I received my TPN. And at that time, there was one person out of the whole, literally everywhere in Egypt that would make TPN. So, and we had to travel like 4 or 5 hours every 2 days to get it. That person's not there anymore, so they do not have TPN in Egypt, but now anyways, we had to come back, and this time, since then we've been here, but that time we were able to come with my older brother. So my older brother is here with us. He just doesn't live in the same house, but he is here with us, you guys. So since then, that was sometime in 2008. Since then, we have been here. I was on the transplant waiting list because once you get an evaluation, then you could be on the wait list, and the wait list could be months, it could be years, 18 months before we got the call and they said, I'm getting my new organ, I'm getting a new intestines. And they did all the pre-op care. I was so mad because I wasn't allowed to eat because I'm like, bro, like I'm hungry. My dad and my mom was like, what do you want? Like, what's the one thing if you want right now? I'm like, an orange. Literally out of everything I could have, I'm like, I want an orange. I'm like, great. So, obviously I couldn't eat because I was going into surgery. Later that night, around 7 p.m., I got in there. I was in there for about 13 hours, connecting my intestines and everything, and I was out. I was doing okay. Sadly, I think after like 2 weeks, I got my first rejection, which it's not guaranteed it's gonna work either way, but I got a rejection 2 weeks after, and after another month, another rejection. I had a total of about 5 or 6 rejections. So things got so bad, I went to like renal failure, my stomach got so distended, I started throwing up blood, I went in a coma. It was really, really bad. They were trying to do everything they can to save the organ because they knew it was like my only shot, basically. My mom was like, she's dying, you have to do something about it. You have to take the organ out because otherwise, like, she's just not gonna make it. I got my transplant in March of 2009. And the decision to remove my transplanted organ, aka my small intestine, had to be taken. I think it was October. I'm not sure what day. October of 2009. Once they cut open to remove the organ, they saw a super bad infection / rejection / cancer in there where they couldn't fix. So bad it had spread to my colon. So I only got the 1 bowel transplanted, but it had spread to my colon and leaving them having to remove not just my small intestines but also my large intestines. So I had to get both taken out. In the process, I was taken back to the OR like about 4 times because of how complicated things were. My gallbladder was taken out, which is, it's a gallbladder, it's whatever. My bladder was ruptured, so I was actually catheterized for over 1.5 years. I had to have a catheter to drain my pee, and it was the worst thing on the planet. They could not close me up because of how bad everything was. I was open so bad you could see my insides, whatever was left of them. I was in ICU for about 7 months. They do daily dressing changes on it. They literally had to sedate me every day for it, from how bad it is. It wasn't full sedation, but it was like lucid. I could still feel some things, but it was to the point where it wasn't so bad because, you know what I mean? So I was sedated like every day for dressing changes and stuff like that. Then they told my mom that that's it. Like, there's nothing else they can do. And I was actually like, they actually wanted to send me back to Egypt then, but my mom was like, they don't have TPN over there. There's no central lines. She's gonna die. And they had like a big meeting about it, and we decided to stay here because of how sick I was. And we stayed. The hospital is now accepting me through emergency medical assistance. That's only because of how bad my case is, but that only covers like some hospital stays. It will not cover outpatient visits or surgeries or anything like that. On a wound vac, which is like a vacuum that sucks in to heal you for a really long time, so it healed a little bit. They stopped my fistula. Now it's called a fistula. It drains 24/7. Every single day it drains. Since then, they have not been able to close it. It has healed to the extent where it's not going to heal anymore. And I will be going ahead and showing you guys pictures of everything. But since 2009, I have no intestines. I am not allowed to eat anything by mouth. I can chew the food to get the taste, but I have to spit it out. Someone's going to ask what happens if you eat the food. There's nowhere for the food to go. It's just going to sit there, and I literally can lead to death because there's no intestines. There's nowhere for me to get rid of the food. It'll clog things up. It's just not a good idea. I can drink water, but it comes right out of my G-tube. Usually G-tubes are for feeding, but I don't have any intestines to absorb, so my G-tube is just for drainage. So if I drink water, you know, it comes right out. Sometimes I do this. Look. Ooh. Excuse me. That lets like air out. Since I am not able to eat, I am getting all of my nutrition through TPN, which stands for Total Parental Nutrition. It is what's been keeping me alive for the past 13 years. It is what's been keeping me alive. It is what is keeping me alive. But it has so many disadvantages. It is really, really, really bad on your liver. My liver is really damaged from it, and there's really nothing else we can do because it's not like we could just stop the TPN or lower the TPN dose, because then I really won't be alive. So it's a balancing act where we try to have the right amount of TPN without killing you from how bad your liver gets. To receive TPN, my only source of nutrition, without TPN, I would die, you guys. I get it through my central line site. I have had so many central lines. I'm coming down to my very last ones. We think this might be it, but we could probably work around maybe another one. But if I get an infection, like when I was in the hospital last time, that was so hard to clear. We were considering surgery to try to do something about it. So we cannot, like, if this gets infected or we cannot save it somehow, I might just not make it because there might just not be anywhere that I receive my nutrition from and where I receive my TPN from. I look okay setting up now. I am in pain 24/7. I can't go out. I can't walk. I can't stand up. I mean, I can walk for a little bit. I can't stand up straight. I can't take anything by mouth. So if I get like headaches, I can't take a Tylenol. I don't really get anything for pain. That's my life, and I've come to deal with that. So that's pretty much what my life is right now. There is some more things to it, but I do want to go ahead and show you guys what I can. So I'm going to show you pictures of everything, and then I'm going to try to show you everything, but it's going to be super hard to like show you my dressing and stuff. but I do want to go ahead and show you what I can. Here's some pictures that I've tried to get. This actually was just a couple days ago. My tube is really irritated. If you guys are sensitive around cuts and blood and stuff like that, please look away because I don't want to do anything. But this is what my G-tube looks like. It's actually a little bit better right now, but it still really hurts. But this is what it looks like. It is draining. It's been leaking around it. It's so painful. That's my G-tube. Here's what my belly looks like. It's a really weird shape. It is a really weird shape, but here's what it looks like. So you can see from up here all the way down there, it was open where you could see my insides basically, but this is how much it's healed. It will not be healing anymore. And then it leaks right from the middle of there. Here's me, you know, I go to the hospital a lot. I get put in the ICU. Here's a picture of my central line. This is with like us changing it. It goes right, so some people have it in their chests. Mine's actually going through my neck, but it's tunneled to come out through the back because of my belly and just the infection risk of how much, you know. And here is it like covered up. So that's some pictures. I'm gonna try to do my best to show you guys as much as I can, but please bear with me. It is painful to take everything off and just show you. Obviously I cannot take my dressing off because it is covered right now. I do cover it with diapers and stuff like that, so bear with me. But let's go ahead and show you my central line. I think that will be a good thing to start with. We have a little patch on it that keeps it as clean as possible. But that is my central line right there. And then from my central line comes 2 ports. These are what I was talking about when I say lumens. We get 1 lumen, 2. This one is connected, so it's a tube connected right now. Connected, connected, connected. I'm gonna go ahead and get the bag, and this is what my TPN looks like. Now it's in a backpack and it's pretty heavy, so bear with me. But here's the pump that I get it in. And here is what the bag of TPN looks like. Now you guys, if I show it randomly, sometimes it might be white. Those are called lipids. I get lipids Monday through Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday I get clear, because lipids are good fat source, but it's also not good for your liver, which is why I can't get it every day. So that's my TPN. That's my line. My G-tube actually goes into a Foley bag. So usually like these would be like catheters, but this is like the stomach acid that's coming out of me right now. It is connected right here. Is that I cover my dressing with diapers, but that's my G-tube in through that. And last but not least, my dressing is covered up, so it's gonna be hard to show, but I'm just gonna show you like the top. This is like some of it. This is just the top. Super irritated. And then down here, like in there, is mostly where the leakage and stuff comes from. I did tell my parents that that's pretty much gonna be my life now until around 2008, sometime in 2018, where I'm like, okay, honey, I'm getting older. I'm not just gonna sit here. I want to know if I'm eligible for a second transplant, because I understand this one didn't work, but people get second ones all the time. And I know our financial issue is not very good, but I wanted to know if medically it is possible. So I sent an email to the doctor, and he's like, well, medically it's possible, but this time you would need a multi-visceral transplant, which is multiple organs. In my case, small intestine, large intestine, liver, stomach, and a pancreas, so that's 5 different organs. Just just letting you guys know, that's my case. We talked about it a little bit back then. They said it's a possibility, but it's mostly the financial issues. So that's when I started my GoFundMe, and I've just been trying. But they haven't really done anything. They haven't been saying anything about it. It's like me talking about transplant is not what they want. So I was like, I'm just like, it upset me because they're like, you have an okay quality of life. I'm like, you're not the person that gets up every 2 hours to change your dressing. You're not the person that can't go out with friends. You're not I might look okay with makeup on. I might look happy. My life quality sucks. And I'm just being honest. Yesterday, I was in so much pain. I was crying all day, and there was nothing I could do. Last time I was in the hospital, I cried once, and then they're like, we're gonna have you see that psychologist. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Am I not allowed to have emotions in here unless someone thinks I'm like suicidal or whatever? But anyways, they had me see the psychologist, which honestly now, thank you to my doctors for letting me see her, because when I let everything out and I explain everything, I explain how, they're not like anything like that. I talked to them, and then last admission, they said, well, you know what? For a secondary transplant, we want to do this specific donor, specific test. It's called the DSA test. It stands for donor specific antigen. It determines how many antibodies are in your body and how they are to see, because if they're too high, then I don't really qualify for a transplant. But they're like, you know what? We're going to do that test. You're going to have to pay for it, obviously, because it has to do with that. I'm like, it's okay. I'll pay. I've been raising money for this. Like, just let me do it. And they scheduled me a meeting for the 30th of January, which was Thursday. So the results came back, but they wouldn't tell me what it is until the 30th. So we went to the meeting on the 30th, and the first person that came in was the transplant doctor. I cannot tell you how many times I freaking cried, you guys. It was ridiculous. But we are all on the same page, and if it wasn't for finance issues, I would already be on the transplant list. They saying the only long-term solution for me is a transplant. I might be stable right now, but that's not gonna last, because you have no idea how bad I can get, how fast. So they told me that even though my donor-specific antigen test, my DSA test, was a little high, it's not impossible. However, we can't do an evaluation and then do the transplant after. But we all decided on that. We also talked about recent quality of life. If you guys could please share, that would be amazing. We also, not recent, current quality of life. We talked about that. And I talked about me getting dehydrated, me getting headaches. I don't know what to do about it because I can't just drink water and then it'll hydrate me. I talked about how, I can't take anything for headaches. And when I have pain all the time, but then when I get severe pain and acute pain and super bad flare-ups, I go to the hospital and they don't do anything, and that really annoys me because then the pain just gets so bad and I don't know what to do about it. We talked about all that, and we are finally all on the same page. We are finally going to pay more attention to my pain. We are going to, help with my hydration more. So, we're going to try to make, even though not on the list right now, we're going to try to make it as best as we could. So that's what happened with my doctors and the transplant doctors, because the psychologist told them everything. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much I appreciate you, how much everything is just amazing. They really helped with that part about getting me through to my doctors, because I could never get through to them, never. So now I do have some advocates for me, which is amazing, but I do need to be on the transplant list. Hence, that is what I need to do. I need to be on the list, because for a multi-visceral transplant, they said a wait can be 6 months, it could be 7 years. A wait can be a long wait to find a match for you. With me, my wait is crazy. So the 3 million was an estimate of what we were giving, but it wasn't 100%. After that, we talked to finance, they are pricing. 10 years ago, my first transplant, the evaluation was $30,000 and the surgery was $350,000, right? They are going to give us a written estimate from the hospital with everything. Evaluation, just an evaluation is $350,000 by itself. And for the actual transplant, it is $3.5 million. Saying million is something I'd never really thought I would say. We need about $4 million now. But they did say we need all the money up front before we do something. They cannot do anything personally. They can't do anything. They're trying to help with fundraising. They're helping me find some websites. They are doing as much as they can. But that is reality, and that is how much it's going to cost. So that is the update, you guys, at least for now. I love you guys. I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow. We'll see.